Hello and welcome to Kimberly's Knit for Brains. And this is Wednesday, so that means that it is WIP Wednesday, Work in Project Wednesday. I brought you this project a few weeks back when I was starting it, so I wanted to show you what I was working on and how far I gotten along. I am doing the Tinna Indiana Afghan, and it is a series of kind of Navajo, Native American, indigenous American patterns throughout. And there are 8 different patterns total, and she has them in sequence. So I'm just following along with the charts. There's pattern 1 and 2, patterns 3 and 4, patterns 5 and 6, there's 7, and there's 8. So I have been working on this pattern, and it's turning into quite a large blanket. I'm really excited. The nice thing about these charts is you can choose one of the patterns that you like. You can take out one that you don't like. You can repeat them all. You can keep the same thing going through. You can pretty much do whatever you want because each pattern, each segment pattern in the whole pattern are all a little bit different, but they don't roll into each other per se, because again, with this mosaic crochet, once you finish a row, then you just clip and you keep moving on. So this is what it's looking like. I forgot a little stitch marker, but that's okay. So I'm really excited. This is so far what I've done. So this is pattern 1 down here, and then this is pattern 2. This one is pattern 3, and that's 4, and this is 5. I'll get back to that in a second. This is 6, and this one is 7. So I'm finishing up 7, and then I'll do 8. And I have enough yarn, and I'm making this into an Afghan. So what I think I'm going to do is just repeat all 8 patterns again. Now with the mosaic crochet, the technique, you end on each row. So you start a brand new row of yarn with each one that's contrasting each other. I happen to like this because I feel like the pattern is going pretty fast. I was able to do, last night, I did basically this whole pattern here. So I'm able to do between 2 to 3 inches a day. So that's actually pretty good. I feel like I'm making really good progress. It is 156, I believe, stitches across, 159 stitches across. Okay, and that is a complete row. So it's not super, super wide, but it is going to be pretty long. What I really like, you can see how the kind of that Indian Navajo pattern is coming through, and the colors that I chose, I felt tied in with those colors as well. So to me, I'm actually, as I was doing this, my mom was watching me saying, you have to give that to someone you really, really love, who really knows you, because that is taking up so much time. So I actually have decided I'm going to give this to some dear friends of mine who live back in Buffalo, New York, who it does get nice and cold, and it's 2 gentlemen. So I think that this is masculine enough that they're going to like this. All right, so what do I not like about this pattern? So with this pattern, you can use any kind of yarn that you want. I am using these Caron Skinny Cakes, and these are a weight of 3. Don't ask me where to get these because they're discontinued. However, I have been looking online. If you happen to find these at a Michael's or Amazon or one of those second-hand or second sale sites like Poshmark or Mercari or something like that, or maybe on Etsy, grab yourself some. I found these at Michael's on clearance, and I think they were probably $4.50 because normally they're $9.99 a skein. But when you look at how much is in here, you get 795 yards. That's a lot of yarn for $9.99. And then of course, if you find it on sale at half price, that's a good deal. And I'm pretty sure I got these all on price or on offer sale, which is why I have so many. So ultimately what I'm ending up doing is I have 2 skeins of this one, and this is called Frosted Mint. So I have 2 skeins of this. I'm ending up with 2 skeins of this one, and this one is called Turkish Delight. So it's got some nice kind of plums rolling into some peach, kind of like some pale yellows, really, really pretty color transitions. And I just thought these colors looked really well together. Looked really good together, rather. And there's some peach then here that you're picking up in here. So there is that kind of nice blending of the two. And then this one, I believe, because I lost the little wrapper around it, which is really a bummer. I believe this one is a frosted blue. Let me see if I can find it. I think I just found it somewhere. Yes, frosted blue. And I have one skein of this. So I started with these two. I'm just about finished with the Turkish Delight, and I've just finished with the Frosted Mint. So I'm going to finish up this row here. Now I'm rolling into this color, the Frosted Mint and the blue. I'm finishing through with the blue, and then I'm going to end with this Turkish Delight again. So the colors are blending, and they're kind of going from a, starting with the blue, with the greens and the reds down here, and then transitioning into the Turkish Delight and the Frosted Mint in here, getting into some of those darker colors down in here. Now we're transitioning into the blues from the blues and the greens. So we're going to finish up with those, and then we're going to transition back into the green and the Turkish Delight like we did up here at the top. So hopefully it's going to have this nice kind of a swing from one side to the other blend. Let me tell you what I didn't like about this. I love these yarns. These are self-striping yarns. Some people use just solid colors, 3, 4, whatever. As long as you have a good contrast between the two rows, that will help you to see the stitches that you've got going on here. So when I came to row, I think it was section 5, this part here, what started happening was the colors, the two skeins that I was using, they started to get light kind of together. That's a problem because I wasn't getting that really good contrast between the rows to get a good contrast in the stitch. So I don't think this was the best idea, but I decided to switch over to the blue to start giving it that really nice bold contrast. Would have been fantastic had I started with it down here, so I could have picked up the pattern, and I finished with it up here so I could have finished, and you really, really would have been able to see that particular design. Unfortunately, I didn't do it. I am not going to go back and redo it. Just something to keep in mind. If you are going to be using a self-striping yarn, which is great for this, I would recommend that you just kind of keep an eye and plan ahead to see where your colors are going to start to blend and where they're going to get a little too close to each other. Other than that, I love this yarn for this particular project. It's 100% acrylic. Just double checking. Yes, it's 100% acrylic. So it's easy to wash up. It's heavy, but it's not really heavy because it's a weight of 3. So I think it's a good blanket just to have kind of for all season. Like this would be nice in the winter. Here in Southern California, it's almost too hot. Like we could only really use this during parts of the winter. But then again, we really don't use a lot of blankets here in the Southern California. But it's just a nice, really nice yarn. It feels good. It feels like a blanket. It's got a little tiny bit of a, I wouldn't say scratchy, kind of a coarseness to it that makes you feel like it might have a little bit of wool in it. It doesn't. But it's really pretty, and I am just loving this pattern, loving the way that it is really kind of coming together, and I'm loving for the most part, except for this part, loving the way that the colors are really coming together, giving you that really nice kind of Southwest, deserty color scheme along with this particular pattern. So all in all, I'm very happy with this pattern and the way it's going. And when I showed it to you last week, or week before last, I believe I was kind of in this area. So I've been doing a lot. I might have even been finishing up this. Take a look and see where I started. But I'll keep showing you my progress. But it's really moving along very, very quickly. And I work on this maybe a couple hours a day. And I said I can do between 2 to 3 inches on this. So this is my current work in progress. This is the Indiana Afghan by Tinna. You can find it on Ravelry.com. You can find it on her website. I will include both links in the comments below. And this is about I think it was like a $5 pattern, but it's just beautiful. Really, really well written. I have found that I don't even have to read the instructions. I'm just following along with the patterns, with the charts. And so I'm really excited because one of my goals in 2022 was to really hone in my chart reading skills. There are so many beautiful, intricate Afghan patterns and granny square patterns and all kinds of things that come from other countries where English is not their first language, but they write beautiful charts. I've seen some beautiful ones come from Spain and from Poland and the Czech Republic and things like that. So understanding how to read a chart is a very, very useful tool. So I'm really happy to be doing this. And like I said, you can mix these up, mix and match as much as you want. You can stick with one pattern if you want. It's very, very easy. And basically she'll show you this is one set, and then you just repeat. And it tells you down here how many of these you're going to do, how many repeats there are, how many stitches there are. It's very, very easy to follow along with. So that is my work in project for this week, which this is Wednesday. And I'll be back next week with an update on my Tunisian Afghan, my temperature blanket that I'm doing. I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to alternate my works in progress because these are the two that I'm working on. These are my big projects right now that I'm working on. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment below if you have used these yarns, the Caron Skinny Cake yarns by Yarnspirations. Let me know what you've done with them. These are just big, beautiful, beautiful balls to do Afghans with. Perfect size to do an Afghan. At almost 800 yards per skein, you can do some beautiful, even if you just do like 2 of these, you can make a really nice baby blanket. So if you're looking for a good, reasonably priced yarn where you don't have to buy a lot because there's so much in here, this is a really good option. Now I know I'm taunting you and then saying they're discontinued, but I bought these probably 6 months ago maybe, so I think you can still find these around. Like I said, Amazon, Poshmark, Michaels.com clearance, and even better because if you get it on sale, ka-ching. All right, thanks so much for watching. Please comment below and like if you have tried this Indiana or a similar pattern, if you have used these yarns, these cakes, what your experience is, and if you like what I'm doing, and if you have any feedback, comments, compliments, I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next week.